Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Barrie Ball Hockey Club, home of the ballhockey.com World Outdoor Ball Hockey Championships presented by Bauer. My name is Jim Lowe, and my colleague is Steven Sahoyas, and we are happy to present to you the big main event of this tournament, the Men's A Division Finals. Steven, we have the Toronto Leafs, the defending champions, four-time world champions, facing the St. Catharines War Pigs in a rematch of their epic final just a year ago.
What a matchup we have on our hands today, Jim. I mean, to get lucky enough to see these two teams once again battle it out for the Men's A Division Championship. Last year's game was a classic, and a lot of the fans that were here last year, it's hard not to remember that game. It went to 6 overtimes, and it was in that 6th overtime that the Toronto Leafs were able to defeat the St. Catharines War Pigs. And definitely both teams will be fighting hard for that championship here today. And you can expect a tight, close battle between these two teams.
Yeah, in our first Rogers TV game of the week, a couple of hours ago, we saw the Leafs with a really solid victory over the St. Catharines Rebels to advance to the finals. The Leafs working on a bit of history here. The Worlds have been running for 19 years. The St. Catharines Wizards won 5 World Championships in the early years of the tournament. The Leafs will match that record if they can pull off a victory over the War Pigs tonight.
So we have a chance to tie a historical record for the Toronto Leafs here today, and the game is underway. The Men's A Finals has started. The Leafs have the ball behind the net. Controlling the ball, taking his time is Tremblay. Tremblay dishes that one off. Once played over to the corner, now picking that one up is Tony Montero. He scored 2 goals early on in the semifinals game for the Toronto Leafs. See the ball now go behind the net. Both teams fighting for that loose ball. Scooped up by Tremblay. Tremblay's shot rolls wide of the net. Tony Montero picks it up.
How does Montero always get open, Steven? It's unreal.
I have no idea. He's just got a knack for finding that open space. Tony Montero once again gets the ball. A shot bounces over the net. Picked up now loose ball. Both teams fighting hard for that. One's going to be chipped up. That one scooped up by Pereira. Pereira has that one rolled right onto Clark, but Clark will leave that for his man to pick up, and scooping up the loose ball there. The Leafs, Tremblay has it now. Tremblay shot, whistles wide of the net. Loose ball. Scooped up there by Jonathan Poirier. Poirier plays that one off to Tavlevsky. Tavlevsky's shot covered up by the goaltender for the St. Catharines War Pigs, Graham Leggett.
And Leggett last year, as some fans may recall, he played those 9 long periods of ball hockey. They actually took him to the hospital for dehydration at the end of that game. So he is a warrior, and you're going to see some great work between the pipes by him.
And if you notice, there's no water bottle on top of that net for Graham Leggett, so he's not one who likes to take his eyes off of anything but the matter at hand. And the Leafs now in control of the ball. Bring that one through the neutral zone. Tavlevsky drops that one off. Pereira will play that one in deep. Duarte has it now. Duarte takes his time with it, wraps it around. That one thrown out in front. Tavlevsky trying to get a hold on. He can't. The War Pigs now trying to come the other way. That is Bob Dormissus. The War Pigs. Here comes Pereira. He winds and fires that. Looked like it rolled off his stick as it goes wide of the net. Duarte trying to backhand out. The War Pigs here are going to get called for too many men, as they had a bit of a kerfuffle, if you will, trying to switch those lines up.
It's a tough one. They've got a crowded bench as well as a coach on their bench, and although you never want to excuse a penalty like that, with so many bodies, it can happen, and it certainly happened to my teams over the years.
Yeah, it's sometimes hard to keep track of who's coming out and who's coming on, and you see it catch up to the St. Catharines War Pigs there. The Toronto Leafs will head to the power play, an effective power play we saw in that semifinals matchup.
These two teams took 2 different routes to our finals here today. The Leafs had a relatively easy 6-1 victory over the Rebels in the semis. The War Pigs, though, had to go to shootout against the Barrie Flyers. Great story here. Kyle Ozienko of the War Pigs scored the shootout winner against his old team. So you don't book drama much better than that.
Yeah, what a time to come through, and at a time where his new team, the St. Catharines War Pigs, needed him the most. I'm sure that one felt just a little sweeter for Ozienko. That shot by Pereira absorbed by the body. They're going to call that a hand pass as it was hit by the glove of Hannon, I believe. So faceoff will come just outside.
Yeah, inadvertent by a Hannon. It just deflected off his glove, but that's the rule, and the referees definitely made the right call there.
Faceoff will come just outside the Leafs zone.
Minute 42 left in the Leafs power play. Lots of time to get that power play working, and as we saw in our first game this evening, they are lethal on the power play.
Hannon using that big body of his along the boards. We've seen him do that all day long, whether it be for the Leafs or the, excuse me, I'm blanking, the London Reapers in that last matchup. You see Pereira. He plays that one over to Montero. He brings it into the zone. Back to Pereira. Pereira across. And the Leafs cycling now. It's picked up by the War Pigs. They're trying to clear that out. Nice keeping by Pereira. Pass down to Tremblay. Tremblay down low. Over to Montero. Montero shot stopped. Went high in there on Leggett, but he's able to keep that one out.
War Pigs lucky there. I mean, we saw Montero multiple times bury the ball from that position. Ball just didn't settle down for him in time to get the one-timer off.
Pereira leaves that one for his defensive partner. He gets off for a line change. That one trying to find Labasse on those boards. Loose ball now picked up by Duarte. Duarte taking his time with it. He'll chip that one into the zone, chasing after that one hard as Tabbas. Scooping that one up for the Leafs. Behind the net now, Poirier throws that one out front. That gets knocked to the side. Both teams taking a hack at it. It's now picked up by Duarte. They draw that one low for Tabbas. Back to Duarte. Back to Tabbas. Duarte. Tabbas behind the net with it. Back out front to the slot. That one glove down. Loose ball still, but he'll, looks like he has that one between his legs as he'll hold on to that one.
He definitely didn't know where it was. A heads-up play by his defenseman to make sure that even that slightest bit of movement didn't knock it into the net.
Yeah, veteran move there by Brian Salga in the back end to make sure that nothing squeaked by Leggett. Face-off coming to Leggett's left. Except to take the draw for the Leafs is Duarte.
Effective penalty kill by the War Pigs. I think that was really important for them because we know how much damage the Leafs can do with a lead.
So the War Pigs dump that one down. Scooped up by the Leafs, finding some space there. Try to take advantage of that. The Leafs, Duarte drops on back for his defenseman. Poirier throws one in. That looks like it goes off the side of the net. Rolls by the stick of Duarte. Scooping that one up for the War Pigs is Osajenko. Osajenko. Give it to his man. That one goes off his foot now behind the net. Both teams fighting for it. We're going to get a penalty on the play. Slashing the call. And it's coming to Poirier, it looks like. And the War Pigs will try their hands now at the power play.
Yeah, a great effort by Ozienko and his line mates in pressuring down low, frustrated the Leafs a bit, and they take that penalty, and we'll get to see the War Pigs power play unit in action for the first time.
Yeah, they'll look to capitalize now with 5:19 remaining here in the first period of play. A lead for the War Pigs could definitely maybe bring out a Leafs team we haven't seen yet today, as they've been leading all day long from the beginning of that last game. They scored 16 seconds into that game and never trailed. That one goes off the bar. Loose ball from the net. Just goes wide. Big chance there. Clark didn't know where it went after it bounced off the bar.
Look at the size of this War Pigs power play. I mean, these are big boys.
Yeah, you can say that about the whole lineup. They have a big team, those War Pigs, and you'll definitely try to use that size advantage. That's why, if in my opinion, you got to watch out for a player on the Leafs like Sean Handon. He's got the size to match up against these War Pigs, and we'll see if he gets some chances.
Yeah, we saw some really effective work in the first game by Hannon. Had a key screen on one of the Leafs goals. He's definitely someone that the War Pigs are going to be watching every time he's in their offensive zone.
War Pigs trying to get the ball rolling now. That one's kept in the zone. Passed over. Brian Solga has that one roll off his stick now. Control of it, dumping that one deep is Montero, and he'll get off for a line change. With some shifty moves around his own net there. Pass over. Shot goes high. Loose ball on the side of the net. Clark gets over there pretty quickly. Behind the net with it now, Osajenko.
Dave Clark is just such a solid, reliable presence in the Leafs net. Ooh.
And Hannon, you see that body of his, it looks like he's going to get a tripping call. A questionable call there. It looked like both guys turned to try to grab the ball, but nonetheless, Hannon will sit for 2.
Yeah, Hannon's stick did look to be between his legs, though, and you know, in a tightly called game like this, you're going to go to the box. So the War Pigs will get about 24 seconds on 5-on-3 power play.
And they're going to have to make the most of these 20 seconds. And we're going to get a second look there to see exactly. Hannon comes off the boards, and you're right. It looks like he steps on the stick there of Hannon. And as much of an accidental play that is, Barrie Ball Hockey will call that every single time. If you step on the stick and fall, that will be called tripping.
I found myself in the box more than a few times for that exact play.
Yeah, I think all of us who play a game here at Barrie Ball Hockey or two definitely know what that feels like. And these next 19, 18 seconds now for the Toronto Leafs are going to feel like an eternity. You're down 2 men here. Face off to the right here of Dave Clark. Warpace control the ball off the draw. Taking their time. Chasing after that one now for the Leafs. They've got control of it. That's Frank Grizinich. Grizinich trying to kill some time. 1 man out of the box for the Leafs. That's Poirier.
Got a War Pig down behind their net.
Yeah, he seems to be in some serious pain.
I think he was clipped by a stick as the play was coming out of the corner.
Looks like it's Michael Nielsen behind the net for the War Pigs.
Oh, well, they tend to Michael. I've got some very exciting news, a Rogers TV exclusive, Stephen. We've been told that we get to announce the 2016 World Outdoor Ball Hockey Championships, the 20th anniversary edition. We'll be right back here at the Barrie Ball Hockey Club, September 23rd to 25th, 2016. So I know we'll see both of these teams, but the competition to be the 20th anniversary World Championship is sure to be intense.
You bet all teams will try to take their best shot at that prestigious honors. We get a second look here behind the net. Nielsen looks like, oh, yeah, he takes that one in the old family jewels. And he
was a wise man to stay down after that.
Yes, I think anybody who's in Michael Nielsen's position on that play definitely would not have gotten up so quickly. And laboring, as we see on the bench. We should expect Michael Nielsen to return to this game. I don't see any reason why not. We all guys, I should say, all males, definitely know what that feels like. That's definitely an uncomforting pain.
Absolutely, but this is the World Championships. This is the elite game and title in men's A ball hockey, and I can guarantee you he's going to be back out on that floor no matter how much pain he's in.
Controlling the ball now for the War Pigs. That's Charles Giffen. Giffen's shot stopped by Clark, and he'll hang on.
So we were talking during the last break about the 2016 World Championships. Apparently tomorrow the site will go live, so teams will be able to start registering for next year's championship tomorrow morning.
Yeah, so if you want to get into on the action, tomorrow morning is the time that you can start doing so. Tremblay will clear that one out of the zone. Under 3 minutes remaining here in the first period of play. Both teams still knotted at nothing.
And the question is, will the War Pigs win their first World Championship, or will the Leafs win their record-tying 5th?
That one goes off the end boards. It's covered up by Dave Clark.
Stephen, take a look at this crowd we've got around the rink. This is pretty impressive. You know, a lot of these players have been here since Friday, working hard, taking whacks, but they all want to stick around to see who the men's A champion is going to be. Yeah,
this is, like we said, probably one of the most prestigious awards in all of ball hockey. Scores! Big shot for the point by Charles Giffen. Gives the War Pigs the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, I don't know if that curved a bit on Clark. It looked like it might be going wide and then found the back of the net.
Yeah, Charles Giffen winds and fires, and that one beats Dave Clark for our first goal of the game.
So we've seen today how important that first goal is, especially when you're tired. You know, it's a little different middle of the week game or something.
And we'll get a second look at that one now. You see the setup and on and off of the stick of Charles Giffen that ball was. And now here they come again, the War Pigs, looking to add to this lead. Ball now scooped up by the Leafs. With speed down that wing. There's Duarte. They want to get back. And they get this one back at an even ground. Duarte going to pass that one back. Dumped into the zone there. Loose ball. Both teams fighting hard for it.
Now, although the Leafs controlled their semifinal game, they had to come from behind for an earlier game. They won a game with 28 seconds left yesterday, so you certainly should not be counting them out yet.
Now, this is a team that can strike at any point of the game, and they have a multitude of players that can do so. You see, trying to bring that one out front for St. Catharines was big number 18, Bob Dormissis. Ball now picked up by the Leafs, thrown out front by Poirier. Ends up on the stick, Duarte trying to give that one back to Pereira. It's out of his reach. Bob Dormissis now coming in with the size advantage, but it's Pereira using that speed to get to there first. The ball just rolls off the stick there of the Leafs forward, and that ball will come up and out of play. A minute 11 remaining here in the first period.
Great start for the War Pigs. They've played a disciplined game. They are not at all intimidated by the Leafs, but of course these teams know each other extremely well. So it's going to be a chess match the rest of the way, Stephen.
Yeah, and I believe if you're the War Pigs, I mean, after the finals game that you had against the Leafs last year, you've got to view yourself as equals to this team. I mean, you had just as good of a shot at winning that championship last year as the Leafs. 6 overtimes we're talking about there. That's as even as it gets.
Absolutely, and you know they've added some weapons. This is a deeper and bigger War Pigs team that the Leafs are facing.
Hannon wins the draw. He wins that one back. It's picked up by Vitor Azevedo. Loose ball now. The War Pigs trying to clear that out of the zone. Kept in. Over the side. Tavish shot. Kicked aside by Leggett. Hannon trying to use that size of his along the board there. We're going to get a call on the play. It's going to come against the War Pigs. Pereira winds and fires. That shot blocked. He gets a hold of it again, though. Pereira shot. Wide of that. Loose ball still on the side. Both teams whacking at it. The War Pigs will touch it up. And it will be the Leafs heading to the power play. Their first, or second, I should say, of the game.
Yeah, Leafs really are going to be looking to convert here. We know how good their power play is, although you know, by no means is a one-goal deficit a concern to these Leafs. They'd really like to go into the intermission with a tie game.
No, yeah, this is an excellent chance for the Leafs. And how many times do we see those goals late in the period become pivotal goals in a game? I mean, that could definitely turn the fortunes around for this Leafs team. War Pigs will do everything in their powers to prevent that from happening. Tremblay passes that one up to Pereira. Pereira dumps that one into the zone. Tremblay running now. That one kept in by Pereira. Pereira keeps that one in. Over to Montero. Montero drops that one low for Tremblay. He can't get in reach of it, and that's going to be cleared down the length of the rink. And that should do it here for the first period of play. It is the St. Catharines War Pigs, thanks to the goal by Charles Giffen, who lead this one by a score of 1-0.
Yeah, and you're looking at two very different attitudes as these teams head to the bench. A lot of high fives, big smiles on the War Pigs bench. Leafs, though, they look all business. And I'll tell you, if there's any team in men's ball hockey in North America that can come back and really school you, it is the Toronto Leafs.
Yeah, this is a team that we can see at any point of any given game just have their offense explode. And they can go on a string of 3-4 unanswered goals, and that wouldn't come to a shock to anybody who's close in these ball hockey circuits. So we'll see how they come out of the second period.
You're watching the Men's A Division Championship Final at the ballhockey.com World Outdoor Ball Hockey Championships presented by Bauer. My name is Jim Lowe, and I have my colleague beside me doing play-by-play, Steven Sahoyas.
Yeah, it's been an excellent championship game so far. It really hasn't disappointed. We got a close game after one. Both teams' goaltenders are playing excellent. And we saw it's important to beat Dave Clark early. We saw it took the, in that last game to get into the finals here, it took the opposing team a little time to beat Dave Clark in net, and now we see an early goal from the War Pigs, and we'll see how they can continue off of that success.
Yeah, the War Pigs absolutely got the first period they wanted. The Leafs are not a team that you come back on. You give the Leafs the lead, and they're just going to smother you. We saw that with the Rebels. Clark is so good, he'll take those shots. He doesn't mind because he knows his teammates are going to pad the lead as the game goes on. So for the War Pigs to put the Leafs down early, it absolutely changes the tone and tempo, and the War Pigs sent a message in that first period. We want your championship, Leafs.
Yeah, this is a team that's got everything to gain in the St. Catharines War Pigs. And it's the Leafs that have everything to lose as they are the defending champions. Dave Clark, it looks like he's just situating himself there in between the pipes. Goaltender checks in on both goalies. Excuse me, the referee checks in on both goalies. And we are set to start the second period of play. Tremblay passes that one up the boards. Now it's picked up now by Poirier. Back to Tremblay. Plays out across to Pereira. Pereira over to Montero. Tony Montero behind the net now. The Leafs behind the net. Tremblay plays on back to Pereira. His pass now. Inside that out in front. Big chance there for Handon. And he's so close. That's that one just whistled by the net. Montero's shot. Trying to find his man on the doorstep. Couldn't get that one to go. That was Christopher Morrison on the doorstep. That shot there, trying to squeeze one in on Leggett there, was Morrison, but he'll hang on.
What kind of conditioning does Sean Hannon have? This is his third straight game, and he will be playing a fourth one after this. He's in the B finals as well. So it's just an unreal afternoon for that guy, and just always a presence, always a threat in the slot there.
And like I said in that first game, he really reminds me of a Milan Lucic. I know he wears the number 17, so there's the obvious comparison there. But the way he sets himself up in that slot to use his big shot, the way he uses his body along the boards, he just reminds me of a power, like a true power forward, like we see Milan Lucic in the NHL. We see Grzic now has it. He drops that one back. That one passed over to Tavis. He puts that one behind that. Montero. Does that pass roll wide? A little push and shove in front of the net, picked up by Vitor Azevedo.
Yeah, Darren Chapman with a really nice play in front of the net. It's those small things that fans don't necessarily notice, but goalies love you for it.
That one goes wide of the net by Tavis. And you're so right. It's those players that you see on the court that maybe don't get the credit that they so deserve from the fans. But I can tell you what, the players are very thankful they're on their team. Scores! Big shot from the point.
Just as the power play expired, too.
Excellent shot there from Frank Grzic near the end of that power play, as you mentioned, Jim. And the the Leafs get back in this one. They trail this one. It's a tie game now, 1-1. So we'll take a second look at that one. See the pass from behind the net there, back to Grzic. And he makes no mistake beating a screened Leggett to make this a 1-1 hockey game early in the second period.
Yeah, the War Pigs opted to send a guy from the box to the bench, get a fresh player out there, and it cost them because just that extra 6 or 7 feet, that's the difference between lifting his stick and stopping him from getting that shot off. So maybe a bit of a tactical error on the War Pigs' part.
And the Leafs make them pay for it. Picking that one up now for the War Pigs. Behind the net with it. Now in the slot. War Pigs are going to pass on Osajenko back to his man. Clark kicks on the side. Loose ball still in front of the net. Getting to that one now. And kicked aside there. Picked up by Morrison. Christopher Morrison. He'll play that one back. He passes that one to Morrison. Morrison passes that one back over. See, the Leafs are slowing the pace of the game down just a little bit. That went to Montero, Tony Montero. Nice move around his man. As that one picked off. Here come the Leafs. Excellent play by Morrison to get back in on the play there.
Shuts down Rorison.
Yeah, that was a nice job there by Morrison. Like I said, to shut down Rorison. His faceoff will come to the left of Dave Clark. And 7.5 minutes remaining here in the second period. And the Leafs coming out out of the gate strong on that power play, able to tie this one up.
Yeah, Stephen, they're feeling confident. They've got St. Catharines where they want them. Obviously, they need another goal or two to be safe, but the momentum has shifted here in the second.
Hannon has it now. He's trying to get his man on the stretch pass, but Pereira picks it up. Onside, Pereira's shot goes over the net. Tavis about to pick it up now. Tavis can't get control of the loose balls. The War Pigs come the other way. Dumping that one into the zone is Brian Solga. Loose ball now picked up by Azevedo. Azevedo finds Hannon. Hannon has that one poked off his stick, and that will be dumped down the ring. Coming out to play that one was Clark, but he's now picked up by Vitor Azevedo.
Seemed to be a bit of miscommunication by the Leafs there, but it worked out in their favor.
Yeah, big Bob Doramissus was about to get that one, but it ended up on the stick of Clark, and I think we're going to get a whistle here in play. I think it was played with a hand pass.
See Clark coming out and apologizing to his teammates. Definitely not the pass up the middle that they were expecting there.
No, not at all.
But no harm, no foul, and he's got a grin on his face. He's not going to do that again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see Clark. He realizes his mistake, and he's going to hopefully learn from it. Play continues here, and War Pigs trying to get the ball rolling.
I don't know that a multiple-time world champion got too much to learn on these rinks anymore.
Oh no, I know you've and that's the thing. Once you think you've seen it all, you see more, and then you see now Grizinich getting that one in deep. Both teams fighting for that loose ball. The Leafs will come out with the ball, and now it's the War Pigs trying to transition the other way with speed down that left wing there. That's Hamdani. Hamdani wraps someone around the boards and be scooped up by Eric Tardif. Duarte trying to clear that one, take it out himself. That one's kept in the zone though. He's fighting for that loose ball. Getting back to play that one now. That one comes right here near the boards. War Pigs with it now. Big shot, save made by Dave Clark, and he'll hang on. Nice shot by Dave Clark to position himself for that shot.
Absolutely, and guy to keep an eye on. He's had a quiet game so far, but number 19 for the Leafs, Jonathan Poirier, he has come up with some big goals throughout this weekend. He's a solid physical player, but with really good hands, and he nearly had a chance there. He gets alone on any goalie, and he's going to make you pay.
And Poirier's one of those players that it's hard to find holes in his game. He's so solid all around. That's one thing I've really picked up on him in these last couple of games. Here comes Chris Morrison. Morrison's going to wrap that on the boards for Pereira. Pereira looking for a pass outlet. He finds one in Montero. Montero's shot stopped by Leggett. Second chance behind the net now. Tremblay out front. That one blocked. Leafs trying to get that second go-ahead goal. That one rolls right by Clark, back out in front of the net. The War Pigs trying to get the offense rolling. That one picked off by Pereira. He's now stripped off the ball. Around the boards, now to Tremblay. Tremblay just taking his time. The Leafs dumped out into the zone. Big shot there. Leggett able to get the foot out and stop that one. Montero. Shot, stop, loose ball on the side now. Both teams fighting for the rebound. That one ends up into the corner. Tremblay trying to pass that one back. It ends up on the stick of Vitor Azevedo. Azevedo to Tremblay off the boards. That one's going to be whistled down for the offside.
Keep an eye on number 37 for the War Pigs, John Rorison. He has had a really quietly effective game back in that end, just bumping his guys off balls, getting his stick in shooting lanes. His goalie, Bram Leggett's got to appreciate the work he's doing back there.
Yeah, and it's like we said, it's those players that not necessarily the flashiest, but are effective in what they do, that don't necessarily get the recognition they deserve. But Rorison's been excellent. That shot at Bouncer onto Leggett. And look like he had some troubles tracking that one, but he's able to get a hold of it the second time.
And I'll tell you one thing, Stephen, almost all of these guys are extremely talented in their own rights. They play different roles on a top team like this, but even the defensive guys have got stick skills that would absolutely dangle the average player right out of his shorts.
Yeah, we are talking about the most elite teams here in ball hockey. That's what we have on display between the Toronto Leafs and the St. Catharines War Pigs. Tabit's shot just goes wide of the net. Loose ball, both teams fighting for it.
Good battle.
Played back over to Hannon. That one knocked down by Leggett. That'll go down the length of the rink for icing.
It's kind of interesting here, Stephen. The War Pigs seem to be on their heels despite having that deeper bench. They're struggling to get anything going in this second period.
Yeah, it is quite a crowded bench there for the War Pigs, as you can see on your television set. They've got quite a few substitutions, but sometimes I find when there's a lot of players on the bench, it's hard to get in the rhythm of things as a player, as you're sitting for longer durations of time than you are out on the court. That shot, a bouncer, just rolls wide of the net. Trying to track that one down as Azevedo. No icing on the play. Picked up now by Grizanich. Now Azevedo has it. Pass down up to Duarte. Duarte's going to chip that one up along the boards, chasing that one down for the Leafs now. Tabit's going to try to get some positioning on Solga. It's Charles Giffen. He's got the lone goal for the War Pigs so far in this one. Shane Smith chips on off the boards to Solga. And Clark will just come out and cover that one up easy with 3:01 remaining here in the second period.
Yeah, but you look at Duarte's positioning coming into the zone. There was never really a threat of a scoring chance there. He was beside his man, on his stick all the way, and it was just an easy one for Clark to cover.
Yeah, and you don't want to take too many chances. If you're Clark, you come out, you cover it, you make the right decision there. Just under 3 minutes now remaining here in the second period. The Leafs have tied the score in the second period. Now both teams trying to get a hold of that ball behind the net. Throwing the body around, scooping it up. Now Stamatopoulos throw that one down low for Poirier, but he couldn't get a hold of it. Now Poirier trying to chase the ball carrier. That one thrown right back around those boards coming our way. Chasing that one down the rink was Darren Chapman, but he won't be there in time as that one will go down for icing. Face off back in the War Pig zone.
Now, Stephen, this weekend we've had the men's and women's championships here at Barrie. Ballhockey.com actually has 2 weekends of the event's so big now, it's 2 weekends long. The second weekend is going to be October 16th to 18th at the Niagara Ball Hockey Club. We've got the Co-Ed World Championships in open, competitive, and rec divisions, as well as the division I play in these days, the over 35 World Championships. So
it's crazy to see how much the sport of ball hockey is really starting to grow, and you can start to see it's getting its due diligence and the recognition it so rightfully deserves. And with tournaments like these and the co-ed and the over 35 tournaments coming up in Niagara from the 16th to the 18th. Finding out this Tremblay. Down out front, misses the mark. Pereira's going to pick it up and wrap that one around the net. Tremblay has it again. His pass out front just misses the stick of Morrison. And Hadmani trying to get by his defenseman, and he does, but it's now picked up once again by the War Pigs, coming with a good chance now. Looked like a little trip there of the stick. No call. The referees have been very lenient, and they've kept their whistles in the pocket, but we are going to get a delayed penalty here. It's going to come against the Toronto Leafs.
I think the Leafs are going to blame you for that one, Stephen.
Yeah, I think I put a jinx on them there. As I said, the referees have been pretty lenient in their calls, but as soon as I finished my sentence, the Leafs have a man head to the box.
Yeah, certainly in the Worlds, the refs let a lot more physical play, particularly battles for positioning, battles along the boards. But a slash is a slash, a hold's a hold, and a trip's a trip. You pull any of that, and you're going to go for your 2 minutes of shame.
Yeah, we see Tremblay being the victim of that there, as he'll sit for 2 minutes or less with the St. Catharines War Pigs on the power play. 1:43 remaining here in the second period. And a great chance now for St. Catharines to take a lead late in the period.
Yeah, this has been the Leafs period, but it won't mean much at all if the War Pigs can cash in as we head into the final 143 here in the second.
And just getting back to that point you mentioned about the refs being, not calling things as much and letting the physical play right out. That's so important in these finals. The last thing you want is it to be decided by a referee's call. You want to let these teams decide this game. And the Michael Nielsen passes that one up to Eric Tardif. Tardif has his pocket picked. Here comes Hannon. Hannon shot. Big chance there. Kept out. Hannon goes hard in the corner of Michael Nielsen. Nielsen's been on the receiving end of more than his fair share of blows in today's game. A big check there. Looked like he was finishing his body check. Was Garrett Bamboro for the Leafs. With the ball now is Hadmani. Hadmani passes that one over. It's picked up now. Drop low behind the net. That one just rolls off the stick. An excellent scoring chance gone by the wayside. Vitor Azevedo to Duarte. Here comes Duarte along the boards, trying to get by Hadmani, and we're going to get a delayed call.
Yeah, things got a little too aggressive in front of the net. And here we go. Bit of a conversation going on as the Leafs leave the zone.
As you can see in the midst of that conversation is Garrett Bamboro and Eric Tardif, but it'll be Tardif taking a seat. As you can see, he was trying to maybe guilt Bamboro into taking another penalty.
Yeah, smart by Bamboro to walk away. Tardif just got too aggressive. He didn't like the way that the Leafs defenseman was giving it to him in front of the net, gave him a cross-check up in the face. I'm not sure whether he got 2 or 4 there.
Yeah,
I think just a 2-minute cross-checking minor.
So the power play now ends for St. Catharines. We're back to even strength. It's 4-on-4 for the next 48 seconds for this period, and then it'll carry into the next period. It'll be another 17 seconds of 4-on-4 before the Leafs take the power play. St. Catharines just lobs that one out of the zone. Pereira plays that one up to Duarte. Duarte over to Poirier. Poirier throws that one down low for Duarte. That one just rolls by Poirier's feet, trying to clear that one out of the zone. That one sails out of the zone. Osajenko trying to get a hold of it. He does. Oh, he only had the one hand on the stick there. If he had 2, he could have been gone. Oh, kept in the zone. Winds and fires shot by Brian Solga. Gets blocked. Osajenko trying to get a hold of it. He can't. Pereira has it now. Pereira passes out over to Poirier. Poirier lets one roll onto Leggett. It goes wide of the net. It'll come back down for a face-off with 2 seconds remaining here in the second period.
Yeah, I think Poirier thought the clock was a bit more dire than indicated. Just wanted to get the ball out of the zone, but instead he gives up an offensive zone face-off to the War Pigs.
So we'll see now. I don't believe there's enough time for the War Pigs, but crazier things have happened. 2 seconds remaining here. Off the drop, both teams will tie it up, and that'll do it for the second period of play. It was Frank Grizinich scoring the only goal of that period, which tied this game up at 1 for the Toronto Leafs.
Yeah, Stephen, tale of 2 different periods. The War Pigs got what they wanted in the first period. Leafs got what they wanted here, and a little bit of shenanigans going on as the Leafs head back to their bench. But we promised fans a classic, and boy, the first 2 periods have absolutely delivered.
Yeah, if you're to compare this to a boxing fight, you'd say the St. Catharines War Pigs won round 1, and it was the Leafs winning that last round, round 2. And we'd like to say that this is the third deciding round, but as these teams have proven in the past, this third period might not decide this game.
Absolutely, Stephen, and you can see the lights now have come on at the Barrie Ball Hockey Club. We may be settling in for a long one. 2014 World Championship Final went 9 periods, 6 overtime periods, before these very Leafs captured their 4th World Championship in 6th overtime over the War Pigs.
So whether you're here at the arena or enjoying the game in the comfort of your home, I'd sit down, maybe grab a nice drink now and relax and enjoy this next third period guaranteed, and possibly more action coming your way.
Absolutely. This is Jim Lowe and Steven Sahoyas at the ballhockey.com World Outdoor Ball Hockey Championships, presented by Bauer on Rogers TV Barrie.
And if you're the War Pigs, You're going to 17 seconds into the period. You're going to be shorthanded. What do you talk about maybe to prepare yourself for when that occasion does arrive?
Well, you got to expect that Montero is going to be looking for that one-timer, and you've got to shift your box to compensate for that. Unfortunately, there are no weak players on that Leafs power play, and if you overcommit to Montero, they're going to burn you. So, hold your box. Look to Montero is typically on the left side. Look to shift right a bit here and there, but otherwise, just hold firm.
Yeah, you've seen him be so dangerous. Even 5-on-5, he's able to find the open space, and with that extra man in the box,
he's always alone, Steven. It's unreal.
Yeah, and it's not for lack of effort trying to cover him. It's just the man just has that knack to find the open court. As we see now, both teams break from their benches, and we get set. It'll be the line of Hannon and Morrison up front for the Leafs, and for the War Pigs, they'll have their top guys out there. You see Captain on the far left. And
now keep an eye on Montero's lining up as sort of a hybrid, part defense, part wing. He knows his man's coming out of the box, so he's going to be looking for that early scoring
they're
opportunity.
Definitely setting up for the power play early on, as this is the third period of the men's A Division World Ball Hockey Championship. Pereira now taking his time with it. He's going to play that off to Morrison, and now the Leafs have that extra man.
Here they go.
Now into Tremblay. That rolls off his stick. Trying to clear that out of the zone. The War Pigs, that was now picked up, and the Leafs find themselves in a little bit of trouble there. That one kicked aside by Clark.
Really good work by Jason Capaldi on the boards to stop the Leafs from penetrating the zone there.
Pereira now in control of it. He passes out into Hannon, trying to break loose. Hannon, he was being mugged there by Brian Solgas. He was able to knock him off the ball.
Those were a couple of big bodies battling for real estate. Oh!
That loose ball, rebound in front of that. Tremblay trying to get his stick on it. He can't. Both teams fighting for it. Hannon trips up over the stick there. Oh, back to Morrison, back to Tremblay. Tremblay trying to pass someone over to none other than Tony Montero, but it couldn't get to him there as they had that pass blocked.
Dan Rudak just makes a safe play, dumps it down, and kills off the last few seconds of the Leafs power play.
Yeah, we're back to 5-on-5 now. Pereira with the ball. The Leafs still trying to keep the pressure going. Look at the speed of Pereira there. Able to dump and chase that one. That one gets by Poirier. Tremblay will keep that one in the zone. That one picked up by Poirier around the net. That one thrown out front. It goes right through the crease. Picked up by Montero. Tony Montero. His shot just goes wide of the net. Kyle Osajenko trying to clear that out of the zone, and it rolls by his man there, Vitor Azevedo. Azevedo gets back to control the ball, though. He passes that one up to Poirier. Poirier over to Duarte. Duarte shot will be squeezed by Leggett, and he'll hang on.
Yeah, Leggett really solid on the power play there, but it's that big bruising War Pigs defense. They are making the Leafs pay for every step they take in the offensive zone.
It's, the real estate is not coming easy. That space is being shut down pretty quickly by War Pigs defenders. Being wrapped around the boards. And there's big bomb door misses. He has quite the combination of size and speed. Vitor Azevedo. They'll dump that one into the zone. Both teams chasing after that loose ball.
I've played against a lot of big guys over the years, but Dormises has got to be right up there. He is a huge man.
Yeah. And he's a pretty quick competitor, too. That one loose on the side of the net. But trying to jam it in, there's Poirier. He's going to bring that one out.
Oh.
And he's shaking off the ball there by Jeff Capaldi. That shot blocked. Ends up on the stick of Duarte. Duarte juggling that ball in the corner. He picks it up once again. Passes that one over. That goes off the stick of the Toronto Leafs defender there and out of the zone. But the Leafs bring it right back in. Vitor Azevedo's shot just rolls by the net. Chasing that one down and going hard to the board was Poirier, but he sticks on his feet. Vitor Azevedo.
Yeah, Poirier's a big boy himself. He's not going to get rattled by a bump.
Back to Krisanich. His shot just goes high. He's already got one goal in this game. He'd love to add another. That one goes loose inside of the net. Both teams fighting for it. That one drop back to the point where we get a whistle. I believe the net is off its moorings. I believe that's the case. It might be Leggett. He looks like he's hobbled over there in a little bit of pain.
No, Stephen, your initial call was right. The net was off. The referee's not going to take the chance of a controversial goal. If it goes in and there's any question, he's the one that's going to have the target on his back if he didn't make that whistle. So I'm sure Leggett appreciates that.
Exactly. Better to make the right call, and the referee's doing that in this case. That one swatted, that's not picked up. But dumped into the zone by the captain of the St. Catharines War Pigs. Now it's going to be wrapped around the boards by Jason Capaldi. That loose ball stays in the rink. That one looked like it was going to sail out, and it's now scooped up.
Big shot coming.
That one's played around the net by Dan Rudak. That one off the side of the net. Hannon has it now. He chips that one up. And that goes out of play.
Just an absolute great chess match between these two evenly matched teams. But sooner or later, the experience of the Leafs is going to start to pull ahead. These guys have been winning championships here at the Worlds for 10 years. The first championship in 2005. They had back-to-back championships in 07 and 08. They're looking for their second set of back-to-back champions. They want to be 14 and 15.
Yeah, that would be quite the honor here, as the Leafs try to take back their trophy, as it is their trophy, winning in 2014. Vitor Azevedo has that one go off the end boards. You know how much the War Pigs would love just to put a rain on the parade of the Leafs, and that one goes up and out of play.
Well, and the War Pigs have been absolutely the Leafs' equal in this game. Certainly, ball possession in this third period has been more in Toronto's favor, but St. Catharines has not given up a lot of big scoring chances. Possession's there, but every time the Leafs try to penetrate, St. Catharines shuts them down.
That shot there trickled it wide of that. He plays that one out there. That was a questionable call. Luckily for Leggett, no harm, no foul. But Azevedo trying to set that pass up. Chasing that one down, it's Tony Montero. Montero passes that one back. Control of it now is Prayer. He chips that one. Nice little chip and run.
Solid save.
That's going to be stopped by Leggett. I like the creativity out of Pereira there, trying that nice chip pass. And to receive it, once again, it was like give and go. It almost works there.
It's interesting the difference between the semifinal game against the Rebels and this game today, this evening. Montero, they are not giving him any room. And even though we've seen him slide open a couple of times, he just gets that split second and there's a defenseman on him. So they have him well scouted. They know how important he is to this Leafs offense.
Yeah, if you give that man some space, he is going to burn you every single time. But fortunate for the War Pigs, they've had that well covered.
Great play by Poirier.
Front. That one, backhander scores. Duarte with the backhander out of midair.
Yeah, but what play along the backboards by Poirier to steal possession back. He lost the ball, stole it back, made a great pass out front, and then it wound up on Duarte's stick, and it's 2-1 Leafs.
We'll get a second look at that one. Paulo Duarte, or excuse me, no, we won't get the second look. Paulo Duarte batted that one out of mid-air with the backhand, and that beats Bram Leggett. The Toronto Leafs, the defending champions, lead this one 2-1 with 4:36 remaining here in the third period of play. That shot there blocked and out of play. Now we'll get that second look on that goal. As you see the team celebrating, as they must be ecstatic as the Leafs now lead this one by a score of 2-1.
Yeah, and we've seen how effective the Leafs are with the lead. They're such a smart, experienced team. They are not going to take any foolish chances. They're just going to move the ball, and
there's the second goal. You see him batted out in midair, and it beats
beautiful play
Bram
by
Leggett
Duarte
over the glove. Now with under 5 minutes remaining, St. Catharines will be doing everything in their power to try to tie this one up.
Yeah, and St. Catharines shouldn't panic. You know, they know they are the Leafs' equals. They know they took them bell to bell to bell a year ago. They've been their equals in this game. You just stay focused and look for that right shot.
Yeah, any other team, if you were to ask me, you know, being down 2-1 to the Leafs with under 5 minutes, it was time to press the panic button. I'd say yes, but St. Catharines, this is a team that's equally as strong as these Leafs. You can't say St. Catharines is an equal to this Toronto team, as they've proven 2 years in a row now in this game as well that they can play with this team. Loose ball now, picked up.
Jeff Capaldi blew a tire there, cost him a scoring chance.
Yeah, some pushing and shoving. As you see now along the boards, both teams trying to get aggressive. Charles Giffen near the ball there. He's got 1 goal today. Here's Sean Hannon. That one rolls by the stick of Pereira. The referees will whistle that one down for icing. Face-off will come back into the Leaf zone. Pereira
checking for a hole in his stick. That seemed to be a tape-to-tape pass, but somehow it just skipped by him.
Yeah, sometimes you focus on it so much that it's already by you by the time you've tried to bring in that pass, and that was the case there as face-off will come to the left of Clark.
3:41 left in the men's A final of the 19th annual World Outdoor Ball Hockey Championship. Big shot there.
Yeah, Clark able to bat that one down and hang on to it. That's one thing with Dave Clark. You don't get too many second chances on him. Usually it's one and done as he's able to hold on to them.
Yeah, and the thing with Clark is he is an active part of this Leafs defense. You hear him talking to them. He directs his rebounds to the right guys. He is a really critical part of this team's success.
Leafs now on their heels, though. St. Catharines War Pigs have them on their heels. That one's dumped down the length of the rink. Rudak won't get back to that one to touch it up. It goes down for icing.
Yeah, I think Matt Tremblay is fine with that play. The goalie was a bit out of position. He just dumped it down. Give his team a chance to get reset and worry about winning the next draw.
Yeah, never a bad idea to regroup. Draw one by the Leafs, and you see it pays dividends there as the Leafs now control the ball at the draw. Pereira chips that one out to Morrison. Back to Pereira. He's used that give and go so effectively from that back end. Chasing that one down is Tony Montero. Montero wraps that one around. Picked up by Morrison. Morrison gets around one man. He's trying to set something up out in front. Tremblay turns and wraps one around onto the front of the net. Now, once again, the stick of Tremblay.
See, this is what we talked about. The Leafs are content to just play with that ball. It may have cost them there, though.
Hadmani now coming with speed down the other way. That one's going to be whistled down offside.
As we were saying, Steve, the Leafs are happy. They'll just eat the clock up on those boards. They know that they can control the ball. They're saying, come at us, St. Catharines, try to take it from us. Yeah. But they nearly got burnt there.
Yeah, Hadmani almost makes the Leafs pay. And we'll see now a draw just outside the Toronto zone. With 2:42 remaining here. That one's going to be dumped into the zone. And Clark will just get his glove on that one, and he'll hang on. 2:39 remaining now in the third period. St. Catharines doing an excellent job getting some pressure on.
Yeah, you can see Graham Campbell charging hard to that net. You're going to see a lot of that. They want to rattle Clark, and they want to create some more favorable rebounds.
Poirier dumps that one in. It's now scooped up by Brian Solga. Solga plays it on Clark. Clark's able to bat that one to the side. That could have been dangerous. Still a chance for danger here as the St. Catharines War Pigs have control of it behind that net. That one's chipped up. Chasing after that one's Poirier, but getting a hold of that one are the War Pigs. That was Michael Nielsen. Nielsen winds and fires that one wide of the net. Under 2 minutes remaining now here in the men's A-Division World Ball Hockey Championship.
The Leafs can feel that 5th World Championship. They know that they are about 105 seconds away from it, and they can taste it.
Controlling the ball now is Pereira. Pereira passes that one off to Tavis. Tavis shot, kicked aside, loose ball. Warpigs trying to chip that one and get past it. That one's dumped right back into the zone. Going hard in the net now is Handy. He's trying to pass it on in front to Tavis. That shot blocked. He's going to take a whack at it in the midair, and that one's knocked aside. Duarte throws that one in deep. Tavis has it now. Tavis shot. Stop! And able to hang on to that one is Bram Leggett. He seemed to be, his body seemed to be just a bit out of position there, and luckily he didn't take that one back into the net with him.
Yeah, Stephen, you know, it can happen, especially when the adrenaline's pumping. You know that you're just a minute away from defeat or victory, and you can get a bit antsy. And I think he did there, moved around, but his teammates are going to call a timeout here and you know, figure out what is the strategy to get us back in that game. How do we get an overtime rematch with our arch rivals, the Leafs?
Yeah, you've got a minute and 11 seconds remaining here. If you're the Warpigs, what's your strategy? What do you come out of this timeout? What do you go with it?
Well, it's simple. You got to win the draw, Stephen.
Yeah.
You know, they cannot afford to give the Leafs possession because the Leafs blue liners are so strong, they'll just keep on moving that ball around the periphery. And then you've got to take a chance you don't want. You win the draw, it springs your forwards, and then you get that outlet pass. Suddenly the Leafs are on their heels.
Yeah, and that's one thing. You can't have the Leafs controlling that ball off the draw, like you said. You got to take it one step at a time. You win the draw, you start controlling the pace, and then you dump it. You try to dump it in deep. You get past that red line, dump it in deep, and see where that takes you.
Yeah, losing this draw just gives them more seconds. They keep Leggett stuck in that net, and you know, obviously the man advantage is going to be critical in this final 71 seconds.
Yeah, face-off to come to the left of Bram Leggett. You're watching the World Ball Hockey Championships here on Rogers TV. We have the St. Catharines Warpigs trailing the Toronto Leafs 2-1 in the late stages of this one. That one gets poked up and out of play.
4 more seconds tick off the clock.
Yeah, and every second is crucial for the Warpigs and the Toronto Leafs here in this finals game.
Referees decide that the ball went off a Leafs player, so the face-off comes outside of the zone. Gets the Warpigs a little closer to the goal. Big face-off win there, Stephen.
Charles Giffen doing an excellent job getting great positioning there on his man of the draw. That one now deep in the zone. That one's kept it at the point.
Leggett going to the bench now.
Leggett at the end of the bench, and now they have the extra attacker out on the court. That one's passed off that shot. Block, trying to clear that one out of the zone. That one's brought back to the point. Brian Solga crosses that one over. John Rorson, he passes that one. The Leafs aren't going to touch it. They're going to wait to the last possible second, and Hannah's going to touch it. But the Leafs will get a penalty. And with 40 seconds remaining here in the third period, the Warpigs will have a 2-man advantage. It'll be a 6-on-4.
Stephen, we could not ask for a better finale to our Rogers TV broadcast of this men's A Division final. The defending champs up by a goal, 40 seconds on the clock. Their arch rivals with a late power play, and here we go.
And you want to talk about theatrics, Jim. This is as dramatic as it gets. Face-off to come to the left of Dave Clark. You see there Pereira talking to the ref, asking what the penalty's all about. And you know, in these late stages of the game, the referees don't like to decide the games, but obviously the referee saw the need to call the play there, and it looks like the Leafs will be taking their own timeout here.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It'll also give us an opportunity to see the penalty on replay, but Leafs definitely playing a bit of mind games. They argued the call as long as they could and then call the timeout. They want the Warpigs to overthink here. They want them to over-strategize. They want to take them away from their natural instincts to bury that ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, and the best time that I could, you can relate this to the last Super Bowl. We saw Bill Belichick let the Seattle Seahawks play out the time. They didn't call the timeout in that championship game, and ended up in the wrong decision by Pete Carroll, as decided to pass the ball and overthink that play. So we can relate that now to this finals game here. All right, we're going to get a quick view of that penalty.
Keep your eye on the right here.
See the arms extended right there in front of the net. It looks,
yeah, it looked like maybe a slash on the ankle.
Yeah. So Pereira will sit in the box.
we were watching the ball come up the boards, but we certainly heard the crowd react to it.
So Leafs try to clear the ball in his own. Tremblette gets the ball in his own. Time ticking. 30 seconds remaining here. Getting back to play that one is Charles Giffen. He's got the lone goal in this game so far. He'd love to tie this one up.
Men's A Division Final, World Outdoor Championship on the line here.
That one chipped in by Tardif. Both teams fighting for that loose ball in the corner. Loose ball on the side of the net. Clark finally tracks that one. He didn't know where it was. The referees are going to blow a whistle.
I think one of the fans behind the net thought there was a goal there. There was certainly an exclamation of excitement.
Yeah, nonetheless, it's not in the back of the net. 13 seconds remaining. We have a stoppage in play. Face-off coming to the right of Dave Clark. We are in for maybe one of the most exhilarating 13 seconds we've seen all weekend. Hannon trying to push forward off the draw, using that size, kept in by Giffen. That one brought out to the slot, shot, stopped by Clark, and he'll hang on.
What a great save by Clark. His defenseman let him see it. He kept the War Pig just slightly out of his view, came in, squeezed it down. He'll let those seconds tick off the clock, and we'll do it one more time, Stephen.
5.6 seconds remaining, and you couldn't write a better finish to this game. And it might not even be over yet. 5.6 seconds left. Face off to the right of Dave Clark. Draw won by the War Pigs. We're going to get a whistle quick off that draw. 1.5 seconds tick off the clock. The War Pigs definitely not happy about that.
I think they may put the time back up on the clock.
As you saw, the War Pigs got a clean win there off the draw and looked like they were going to control it. Yes, the referee is going to put the time back on the clock. He's going to add 1 whole second. So they lose a half second in that trade-off.
So we'll just wait for the timekeeper to get things adjusted. Stephen, who's your star of the game so far?
My star of the game, my word. Oh, there's been so many great efforts in this game so far. I think if I were to give one star of the game, though, yeah, I'd probably give it to Pereira. The play of Pereira on the Leafs, he's been such a rock-solid presence on the back end, on the power play, rather than shorthanded. But Brandao Pereira has really stood out in my mind as one of the better players on this Leafs team in this game.
Well, this will be the first time that we disagree when it comes to the star, because I've got to go with Jonathan Poirier. He has been so effective for the Leafs.
Yeah, Leafs control the ball right off the draw. In the corner now. And that will do it. The Toronto Leafs are your back-to-back World Ball Hockey champions as they defeat the St. Catharines War Pigs once again by a score of 2-1.
Huge milestone victory for the Leafs as they become only the second team to win 5 World Outdoor Ball Hockey Championships, tying the record of the legendary St. Catharines Wizards.
And what a finish to that game. That game kept us on the edge of our seat to the final moments. But it was once again the Toronto Leafs clinching another World Ball Hockey Championship.
Yeah, and we saw 2 of the very best teams anywhere in action. Very little to separate them, but you had to know when
Paulo Duarte,
I apologize, gave the Leafs their first lead of the game, that it was going to be tough for the War Pigs to battle back.
Yeah, and that's going to do it for World Ball Hockey coverage here on Rogers TV. But for my partner, Jim Lowe, and for everyone behind the scenes and in between, I'm Steven Sahoyas. Thank you for watching.